it was nice to be able to kick the ball again, especially with the guys that I haven't played with for such a long time, Shompo and Sugar. And it was tough, man, because then the conditions, it was hot. But also it reminded us as to then how we used to play as well, through tough conditions, finding our way to win. At least there was still the competitiveness within us. We lost the second game. We were so mad at each other, which is fine, and I enjoy that. But nonetheless, it was a very, very good tournament. I think we enjoyed it as a team. We played. I think we had more flair than any other team. It showed as well that we've played together at some point. The understanding is still there. So it was overall it was very nice. It was enjoyable. I mean, it was lighter. Thank God that the jerseys have evolved. So is football. I mean, it was lighter. And also as much as we enjoyed wearing it, but we were also like trying to figure out as when once you play with it, how is it exactly that you're gonna sit, especially when you start sweating. So all of us after the first game, because it was so hard we started complimenting it, saying it's much lighter. You don't feel like you're wearing a jersey at all. So yeah, I mean it's a very, very nice kit. I enjoy playing in it. I mean, KidSuper has done a fantastic job. Look, he also said at some point that people are actually complimenting Mamelodi Sundowns jerseys. It's always like an interesting piece, conversational starter, and which is a good thing as well. And even when we were here, when every team was wearing their own kit, everybody was so attracted to Mamelodi Sundowns kit, and which is very, very a good positive feedback as well. Because we also here with Puma people as well, so we actually share those type of ideas. Like they've done a great job with this one. But nonetheless, I just hope people that will be using it, which is the players, actually enjoy wearing it, because it plays a long part, or an important part in the psychological part of it. So yeah, for the fact that we enjoyed it playing five-a-side, I just hope the players as well come game time, they'll be able to enjoy it as much as we did. The blue one it's my favorite because it's just a different color. It's a little bit of softer, and I also feel like it's a jersey that will be easy to wear, even at home. From a fashion point of view. But the yellow one really, really resembles the Mamelodi Sundowns color, which is the color that is very, very dominant with us. So we play with it, with this jersey, the color, rather, for so many games. So it's for me, it's always been a second jersey all the time, because I'm wearing the yellow so much. But nonetheless, I think the blue one is for me. I think the Salzburg and the Palmeiras jersey, I think they're so nice. And we're having a conversation about them, and the details in the jersey, they always stand out. Like you want to get closer to them and actually be able to see. Maybe because Sundowns is closer at home, maybe I don't have the type of feeling that I have with other jerseys as well. But I like the interaction when they see our jersey, and also like the interaction that we have when we see their jerseys as well. But I think the Palmeiras jersey and Salzburg's jersey, I think they're top. I think in the past we used to speak of football being a culture, right? But we didn't really, really define and break it down or decode it as then what is it that's the culture that we're referring to. But in the last few years, we've seen how now football now becomes part of our lifestyle. And now the jerseys that are made for those clubs now becomes very, very important, because you still want, because in the past you want the people that are supporting your team to wear those jerseys in game day. And that's it. So now with, sponsors that are designing jerseys for supporters to actually wear them even on non-game days, because then they're part of their lifestyle. And I think maybe that's the finesse that they have, especially collaborating with designers as well to come up with those ideas outside of football structure or culture that it is. And yeah, man, we want to see colors. We want to see football fans wearing the jerseys of the team that they support on a daily basis. But you have to make something that they actually like, something that they can actually be attracted to. For me, I've never liked wearing jerseys going to a football pitch. So those type of jerseys, stylish jerseys, they actually work for me, because I can wear them any day, anytime where I go. In the lifestyle that we have right now, whether you're going for lunch, whether you're meeting your friends, you can rock them anyhow and still not look weird. Because in the past, I'm like, why are you wearing a jersey, a team jersey during the week? You're not going to the stadium. So because now it's a part of a lifestyle, it becomes a conversational piece as well, depending on the type of jersey that you wear. Since we're also understanding as well that the retro jerseys are back, they're in fashion, baggy jeans as well. You can rock them anyhow, depending on the style and the taste that you have in terms of fashion. So for me, I can rock them anytime, any day. So I just hope that happens. I just hope the sponsors will actually allow the players to be able to have that, because then you're expanding the culture, you're expanding the likeness of the jerseys as well, for the players to be actually proud to exchange those type of jerseys, because those are jerseys that are worth exchanging as well, and also there's jerseys that are worth keeping. So it'll be very interesting to see then what happens in the first game. And yeah, if I was in the Mamelodi Sundowns starting player or player that is within the squad itself, I'll be looking forward to make sure that I'm whatever team that we're playing against, able to exchange, because this is not a tournament that every team every season will be able to participate in. So this is one of those ones-off, and you also want the players as well to have the memorabilia. And this is the thing, jerseys becomes those. We've been in conversations for so many years as to then how then Mamelodi Sundowns, not just in conversations on the continental space, on how then do we actually now start looking ourselves as a global brand, and having the type of style of football that we play, having also the apparel that is Puma to actually showcase as well the type of, I think the stylish jersey and also resembles how we play. So not just from a conversation of the jersey, also the conversation of how we play. So I think it's just like help the team to be a global brand. You also have your collaboration, or rather working relationship with your rock nation. So it helps the team to be globally recognized, and that's what you need. A team as ambitious as Mamelodi Sundowns, another space that you need to be in. Easy to spot players, easy to trade players, easy to play in such tournaments, and it's important for Mamelodi Sundowns to play in such tournament. Every big tournament that is club related, Mamelodi Sundowns should be looking forward to participate in, because you can't just be dominant at home in the PSL only. You also want to be in those type of spaces, because that only helps you to improve, to become a better team. Most of the time, change it always shakes a lot of people. So it's uncomfortable at times, but we've seen and also big tournaments as well that FIFA has been part of. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of additional teams that are participating in it, because there's a lot of more viewership, there's a lot more competition as well, and yeah, man, it's also nice to see so many representatives from Africa playing in FIFA Club World Cup. Not just Mamelodi Sundowns, and also it also maybe resembles us in how far African football has been. Gone are those days where just one team just dominate the continent. Now we've got few teams that are in that space and every season, and also those teams, they also want to be playing against your Real Madrid. You want to play against your Manchester City. You want to play against your Borussia Dortmund, because those are the teams that normally you don't get the chance unless you're playing friendly with them. Nicer when you're playing in a club competition like a FIFA Club World Cup. So I can just imagine the proudness of the team owners, especially from an African point of view, to see their teams participating in such a big tournament. I mean, as a footballer, you should have ambitions of going overseas, especially from an African point of view. You need to have ambitions to play overseas, because that can only not just better your life, but better your career, better your family's life as well. And there's a tournament as well, especially for the young ones that are in the Mamelodi Sundowns team. Hopefully they'll get an opportunity to play. We would love to hear the story, we would love to know the story that a certain players gone. But for you to be recognized by those teams, especially knowing that how far South Africa is, and we haven't had many successful South African exports. There's a tournament that actually gives us those type of opportunities, and we would love to have those stories back. Gone are those days. Speaking of Benny, the Pinar, we need some new people now that will be able to go overseas and actually cement their place so that they can open doors for the other guys. And I think Mamelodi Sundowns have capabilities of those type of players to be able to be scouted and go overseas, cement their stay in overseas, be successful, so that you can also gain an interest to come back home and we have more players that have been scouted. For me, it will be unfair to expect so much from, because I know how long the season has been, but also I'm expecting maybe the adrenaline to kick at some point, to be re-energized, to look at this tournament differently, and to also try and win. I'm expecting them, I hope, not expectation, I hope that they do qualify, they go to the knockout phases. I think then, only then, they'll change and get into the next gear. And maybe this might happen. Maybe this tournament might be won by an African team. And Mamelodi Sundowns being the most dominant one in Africa, there's an opportunity. There's big eyes on them as from an African point of view. So for the team as well, we're hoping that they actually do as far as possible, because the further you go, the more lessons that you learn. Every first game becomes important because it sets the tone for you. And the first game is going to be as important. To have the 3 points in the back, it sets the tone, brings, reestablish the confidence within the team. And you're going forward, you're looking forward to the next game, knowing that you don't have to panic. Now you're playing strategically. So that first game becomes such an important game. And for Mamelodi Sundowns, knowing we do have a coach that is capable, we have players that are capable. I'm sure they've been training as we speak. So they are ready to able to be participating and making sure that they just add numbers. They make a difference in this tournament. And I'm looking forward to see how far Mamelodi Sundowns will go. Mamelodi Sundowns will always sign players. But yet again, it's a team also that is very strategic in terms of signing players. And I'm sure the footballing director, the coaches, the management, they know maybe the areas that they need to improve. Maybe they know also the type of players that they need to bring along. And I'm looking forward to see if ever there will be an additional, because this season has taught us as to them how many games we've played, how many tournaments we've played. Maybe we need more players as well to come on board to be able to help us, in the long stretching tournament, long stretching season that we're going to face next season.
Yeah.
For me, this is a type of tournament because the challenging part is we don't know whether the coaches are preparing this for a new season or they actually continue from last season. So it depends on which team. But for me, this is a type of tournament that I want to see the unknowns, the players that have never been given a chance, the players that are new within the teams, to see then how then they set the tone for next coming season. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see all those young players, especially from Mamelodi Sundowns, the younger ones. My Ben is ready. All the younger ones, the causes, if they're ready, because this is the stage. And we've learned as well through international football that there's no such thing anymore that youngsters are being thrown under the bus, thrown into the deep end. We've seen youngsters surviving. And in an era that we're in, young stars are the talking point. Yamal is the talking point as we speak right now. So we want to see the more Yamals, but you have to give them an opportunity to play in such big tournaments for us to actually recognize them.